We're ready. Um, okay, do you want to just quickly introduce yourself and introduce the topic, and then we can have a discussion?
Yeah, hi, my name is Scott Smith. Um, I've been living in Palo Alto for over 5 years now, and I'm a bike commuter. I guess that's how I'll describe myself for this. And yeah, I wanted to talk about a specific area in Palo Alto that I've found and some other people I've talked to is particularly dangerous for cyclists for some reason, which I'm not quite sure, and that's what I'm hoping to try to figure out or at least raise awareness of the issue. So basically, I commute to work almost every day on my bike, and I take Bryant Street north from my place up to the pedestrian bridge at the creek. And my commute is always fine up until I get to university. But
Hmm.
I've noticed that on the streets on Bryant after university, so most specifically Everett, Hawthorne, and Poe, those cross streets, for some
Mhm.
reason, every week I have at least two instances of like close calls.
Mhm.
Um,
So
most of the
Everett,
time,
Everett, Hawthorne, and which one?
Everett, Hawthorne, and Poe.
The street.
Yes,
Okay.
on Bryant.
Okay.
Yeah, and 90% of the time it's just a car not looking, pulling out in front of me while I obviously have the right of way because Bryant doesn't have any stop signs in that area and the direction that I'm heading. Um, and I would say that most of the time this happens at Everett. I think it's probably because Everett's the busier road in that area. Hawthorne, uh, second most, and Poe every once in a while. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, but then the other last week there was an incident where somebody was coming in the opposite direction of me and just turned left right in front of me. And that one would have been really bad had I not had such good brakes on my bike and not been so aware because I'm so used to that area being difficult.
Hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm mostly kind of confused about like why it only happens in this area, and that leads me to think that there must be some kind of infrastructure um, issue. It's probably subtle. Something is going on that makes drivers less aware of cyclists,
Mhm.
or there's less visibility. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I'm very familiar with that area. It seems like anywhere you go, if you're on the cross street, you would be able to see for a good a good way away. And if you're actually looking, you should be able to see bikes. Um, but I'm not sure. And the fact that it only happens in that area, nowhere else on Bryant really has any issues at all. I mean, I think for the most part, Palo Alto is a very safe place to bike, and there
Mhm.
is a decent amount of infrastructure. I mean, Bryant itself, being a bike boulevard is a step above most other places in the country. So it's nice. But yeah, I've just had way too many close calls. I've known other people who've had close calls in that area. I really just wanted to highlight the issue, um, see if other people also have that problem, and also if there's any city planner who works for Palo Alto or whatever who might be able to kind of like look into it, see if there's some kind of subtle issue going on here that we could fix to improve the safety for cyclists in that area.
Okay. I don't think I take the other part of Brian quite frequently, but not this part. So it's actually interesting that you brought it up. I bike a lot as well, so I'm
Mhm.
very sympathetic. So if you're going down the street, there's nothing about it that's kind of unusual, right? It looks, but there's a lot of traffic, right? It has a parking garage here.
Yeah, so
Um,
the issue usually happens after Lytton. So one more block up is when I start getting really hyper aware. Um,
yeah, I
yeah,
almost
so
never
once
go here, so I'm not even aware about the issues here. So like, what's the example? Like, let's say we're right here. What would happen?
Okay, so nothing will happen here until we get to Everett, I think, which is probably a few clicks away. But yeah, where that car came out, I think. So right here, I mean, I don't even know how many times I've had to slam on my brakes. I've skidded a few times. So many close calls on Brian and Everett. And this is where the person was coming directly at me and turned left onto Everett right in front of me.
So
So
they
yeah,
were right on this side going towards you.
yep, and then turned left onto Everett going that way.
So
Yes.
like going like this.
Yep.
I see. And what happened again?
Well, I mean, I was pretty much almost at the intersection when they started turning,
So you're like
and
right here.
yeah, pretty
Okay.
much, and I had to slam on the brakes pretty dramatically, and I still got close enough that I could
Hmm.
I was very close to their car, and I saw them through the windshield. They weren't looking at me at all. I don't know if they were just completely blind to me.
Hmm.
They were driving pretty fast down Everett as I watched them because um, I was looking at them trying to figure out why. But yeah, but that was just one incident where that happened.
Hmm.
That doesn't happen very often. Most of the time, is people just coming to a stop, looking, not looking very hard, and then just pulling right out in front of me.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
I don't see many people like blowing the stop signs.
Yeah.
Most of the time, people do come to at least like a very slow roll.
Yeah.
But most of the people stop fully anyways, and they still pull out
Well,
as I'm
there's no
approaching.
stop sign here, right? It's only on this. It's on two. It's here, but there's
Yeah. So the stop is on Everett, and people are
yeah.
going down Everett. I'm going down Bryant, and they pull out in front of me.
Hmm. How many times has this happened?
I mean, I can't even count. I mean, I've been doing this commute ever
I
since I
wonder, I
started
wonder
going
if it's the
back
same
into the
person.
office. And
Same
no,
person you meet every day.
it's new
Okay.
people. It's new people every time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've been going back to the office since 2021,
Okay.
and it, yeah, I back I think early last year, I made a post on Nextdoor because I was complaining about it there, um, and it just it just keeps happening.
So what happens up here?
Uh, at this intersection, same exact thing.
Same
Um,
thing, really.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm. I don't see anything special about this, you know?
Yeah, and that's what surprises me too. It's like, I mean, there are some intersections where the visibility I can be slightly sympathetic, but yeah, you have to, pull out a little bit to see uh, you know, a small thing like a bike, right? But here the visibility seems to be fine.
Yeah.
The traffic itself is very slow because this is,
Yeah.
a very residential area, not heavily trafficked. Um, so I don't really know what's going on, but I feel like I have enough of like a sample size to
Yeah.
not just be noise, from that area versus other areas. It's really localized on these two intersections mostly.
So, yeah, I wonder if it's because this is a not a four-way stop, you know? So like so people feel like they have the right of way here, right? So they don't think about bikers going straight, you know? Um
Yeah, I
because
mean, I I guess I don't know, but I feel like the fact that it's not a four-way stop would make people more cautious because you have that sign that says the cross traffic doesn't stop, right?
yeah.
Um, so I don't know.
You mean the sun right here?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. But you're always going this way, right?
It happens when I'm going both directions,
Oh,
north and
really?
south
Okay.
on Bryant. Yeah.
Okay. So here's is like the same thing where they're making a left onto uh Hawthorne this
I
way.
think this is Hawthorne. Yeah, so I mean, most of the time when I haven't had any incidents at Hawthorne where someone has turned onto the street in front of me.
Hmm.
At Hawthorne, every time it happens, it's just someone who's traveling on Hawthorne
Hmm.
and continues across the intersection without stopping for me.
I see. Hmm. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Well, like I'm sure you must be visible, right? And when you're biking, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't wear high visibility clothes, but I don't bike at night, and
Mm,
if I do bike at night, I have strobe lights,
yeah.
and so here middle of the day,
Mhm.
I should be very visible.
Yeah.
I mean, I've certainly never missed a bike when I'm driving,
Yeah.
in this area. So,
Mm,
um, yeah, I don't know. I was kind of, um, and it's not like there's a very obvious flaw in the infrastructure or in the bike lanes or anything like that. Like a bike lane, for example, on this road, I don't think would do much because
mm,
that doesn't seem like it would change how the cross traffic goes or something like
mm,
that. So I feel like there must be some kind of subtle issue, perhaps further down on Everett, further down on
mm,
Hawthorne. I don't know, maybe some kind of combination of stop sign, not stop sign, stop sign.
mhm.
Because I know in a lot of places in Palo Alto, there's kind of like a stutter of like each every
Yeah.
other road you cross as
Yeah.
a stop sign. Maybe there's one that like maybe this one like breaks the pattern in a way
Mm,
because it's the Bryant uh, Bike Boulevard or something. I don't know.
yeah.
I haven't. I forgot to like take a deep look into that. But um, yeah, it's just really something I wanted to highlight. Maybe somebody who
Maybe you could put
is
a
more, yeah.
camera up there and kind of see what happens, right?
Oh, if you could put a camera up there, that'd be great. I mean, I would for sure make an appearance on there with close calls.
Yeah.
Within a couple of weeks, I guarantee you'll see
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a big advocate of like separated bike lanes in general, just
yeah,
because like every time there's a car against a bike, the car wins, right?
100%.
And and so, but here there's not. I'm not. I mean, the only way you could possibly do it is like what they did on the other side, which is they put like they block part of the street for cars, right? I think that's the only way that could happen here because it's not a very wide street, and I mean, I guess theoretically, what you could do, um, is you could, um, so one thing that a lot of cities have done is instead of having the car park on the side of the road, they they basically have the car move out just a little bit, and then the bike lane's on the inside. But that wouldn't necessarily protect you from the intersection issue, right? Yeah, you
Yeah,
have this kind of
exactly.
intersection issue.
Yeah, because I mean the traffic is
Uh,
so low on Bryant itself with cars that like the bike
yeah,
lane, the separated lane kind of situation doesn't really apply
mm,
here because I'm is basically for the most part it's only bikes on Bryant, but it is the
mm,
cross streets which seem to be the
yeah.
problem in this situation.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm mystified. I don't go this part much at all, so
Mhm.
I don't have much experience. I have a lot of experience on the other side, but not this side. Um,
Yeah,
and I think the other side is actually pretty good.
yeah.
Um, hmm. Okay. Well, besides cameras, I mean, is there anything that you could think of that might help here?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It's weird because it's like it's one of those things where it's there's nothing obvious going on. It seems
Hmm.
like it should be a very safe thing, and the only thing that
Yeah.
and I don't want to just blame driver behavior. I mean, I'm sure that is definitely part of it,
Yeah.
but the fact that it's so good on the other side of the university and
Yeah.
so bad here makes me think that there might be something going on. And it's
Mhm.
also, if you're going to go down to driver behavior, there's really nothing you can do about it.
Have you tried biking like how's Emerson in comparison or Waverly? Are those any
Well,
better or
so
worse?
yeah, so I haven't switched to those, mostly just because I figure I would have the same situation and then also have to deal with more road traffic on that road
Mm.
itself. Um, and yeah, but so I haven't switched over to those roads.
Oh,
Um,
actually, I just noticed something on Johnson Park. You see the circles?
yes,
I wonder, what do you think that causes that? It's probably the sprinklers, huh?
must be. Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting. I
Um,
never noticed that from when I'm actually there, but okay.
yeah.
Okay. Um,
And
interesting.
since I have you for one more minute, I will
Mhm.
point out. So at the and this is unrelated, but and not nearly as important. But at the intersection of Bryant and Embarcadero, there's a sensor,
Okay.
I'll just point out it does not detect carbon fiber bicycles.
Oh,
And so it's pretty frustrating for me
oh,
because I have to go to the pedestrian signal and hit that. It's probably frustrating for the
yeah,
drivers too because they have to wait a whole 30 seconds instead of like
yeah.
10 for just one bike. If that could be if you could add like a press button on that that not only
Mm,
has the metal detector for regular
mm,
bikes automatically, but also a button to manually trigger the sensor, that would be awesome. Be a real good
yeah.
quality of life
So
improvement.
I take this a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
This is how I get to city council. So I know this one. But
Mhm.
my bike's steel, or I have aluminum bike, so I don't have that issue.
Mhm.
But I could see
Yeah.
that that could be an issue. Yeah. I think um I thought they also put like a little bike ride radar here, no? Did they not put a
Uh,
bike radar here?
I don't know if they did. I mean, I haven't seen any change. I don't know what I would be looking for there either. But either way, it doesn't detect me. I mean, I haven't tried directly in a few weeks just because I know it's not going to. But I could try it again and see if that is a thing that works. But
Yeah, no, I don't
uh,
see it on the, I don't see it. I don't see it.
I see.
I mean, so it looks like a little like a Pringles can that you look at, and some streets have it, but I guess this street doesn't have it.
Hmm.
Um, okay, that's too bad. But that one's pretty good, right? Where it uses like radar, and so it kind of sees you. I mean, it's kind of neat, but
I
I
would.
think on
I'm.
Oregon,
I'm guessing they have that at Bryant and Lytton because I've always noticed that Lytton seems to switch the light very soon after I show up there, and there's no sensor on the ground. So if it's the same thing there, I've always noticed that Lytton works really well. It's very fast, but
I know
uh,
on Oregon, it's pretty good.
yeah.
Um, Oregon, just and this one I use a lot. So this
Mhm.
one, um, oh yeah, you see this thing right here?
Mhm.
I don't know if you can see that. Those are like
Oh yeah.
special bike sensors. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, let me see. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So let me see. Yeah, anyways, so just so that it's like so you don't have to press a button, it just kind of sees you. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it would be awesome to add that to our VR, but
Well, hey,
yeah, we're over
thank you
time.
so
So
much for letting me know. I can jump to the next office hour.
okay.
Yep. Okay, well, thank